the economy, and you're doing it now, and it's why families are suffering. It's why 30,000 small businesses have closed under your watch.
Peter,
the largest number of small businesses closures in the last 12 months than any 12 months.
So Mr. Dutton, I think what the Prime Minister is going to say is that there have been 30,000 won't close, tens of thousands have opened.
There have never been more small businesses in Australia than there are today.
Right, we're getting off topic. I love the spirit, we're getting off topic. No.
Thank you very much, Mark. How are you going at home? Is this helping you decide? Well, after the break, the rapid-fire questions to decide.
The Musos run out sailing, so get your skates on and visit your KGN Ssangyong dealer now. KGN Ssangyong, Korean built to last.
Beautiful.
Australia's most...
Back to this bullshit.
Now, some short, sharp answers on some quick-fire questions in tonight's Hot Take.
We'll use some images, play some audio, or discuss some key moments.
Okay, ready? First, gents, take a look at this. We were talking about the Aussie dream a bit earlier. What comes to mind when you see this, Mr. Albanese?
Marriage.
Oh, Mr. Dutton?
Retirement home.
Oh, clever. Yeah, okay. That was a bit pointed. Just a reminder, that was the house that Miss Albanese bought.
And Jodie Hayden.
And Jodie.
I know some people have erased her out of history, but I haven't.
No, of course. Do you wish you put it in Jodie's name?
It's in our name.
Yeah. But, might have taken the focus off you.
Okay, what about this? An icon of a TV show that's been on Labor's strategy ads, Mr. Dutt. Your reaction?
Just a juvenile response from a Prime Minister who's not prepared to debate the topic.
Mr. Albanese?
Well, I'm prepared to debate the topic, and Peter was too busy yelling to hear our response, which is about it doesn't stack up economically in Australia. $600 billion.
Okay, let's go. This one, here is a dozen eggs. Mr. Dutton, do you know how much they cost?
About $4.20.
No, you might get half a dozen.
Mr. Albanese?
$7 if you can find them, because it's hard to find them at the moment.
Yeah, you're looking at, I reckon you're looking at 8+. No?
Yeah, there you go. It's the Sunny Queen 12 eggs from Woolies. They're $8.80 from Coles. They're slightly cheaper at about $8.50.
Wow.
Yeah, that's... I think you maybe
Own
Mr.
brand.
Albanese got the advantage.
Kieran goes to shopping, and I've got to buy a dozen at a time instead of a half a dozen. What we do.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. They've gone up a lot, though. You're right. In the last, in the last few months, especially the last year. Okay, a follow-up. What three things will be cheaper? First of all, if you stay Prime Minister, what can go down? Because that's what everyone out there is screaming for.
Tell you what, if you're doing a TAFE course, it's zero. Childcare, because of what we're doing on childcare, and I'm trying to, and the other measures that we're putting in place to your income taxes will come down as well.
In 15 months. Mr. Dutton, three things.
Well, electricity will come down, gas will come down, and groceries will come down.
Pretty quick.
There you go.
Quick answer that one, wasn't it? And what about this man? Let's have a look. Elon Musk, a billionaire around 30 times over, taken into Trump's government, now winding back just months in, Mr. Albanese. What comes to mind looking at this man?
Tesla going under.
Tesla and a very rich man.
Mm-hmm. And you forgot Tesla sucks.
Evil James.
Okay. Mr. Dutton, have you distanced yourself, do you think, from Mr. Trump's style?
I don't think
I
so.
haven't sought to be anybody other than myself, and I believe very strongly that, based on my experience working with John Howard very closely, he's been my political mentor, and I want to make sure we manage the economy as he did. I want to keep our country safe.
Will we still
as
have
any
a
liberal
Doge?
leader would do.
We'll still have a Doge, just in the price going to run
Well,
the Doge.
I've
Why
heard
have you followed so many of the policies?
Well, government
even
efficiency.
today, saying that the ABC were part of hate media.
Well, government efficiency, I mean, do you believe in that?
Look, of course we agree
Well, of
in
course
efficiency.
you're-
What we
you're-
don't
you're-
agree
you're
with,
Trump light.
what we don't agree
Trump light
with,
because you want
is what
taxpayers'
your
money spent
assistant.
efficiently, as we're suggesting.
Can I finish?
Sure.
Is what your assistant treasurer Luke Howard said, which was that you would have a Department of Government Efficiency based upon Elon Musk's model. He's your shadow assistant treasurer.
We've said that given you've spent
And you're going to sack
425
41,000 public servants.
We've said that given you've spent $425 billion extra, which is why people are paying more for their mortgages now, that we're going to take some of the wasteful spending that you've got in the budget. We have the
We've
highest per
saved
capita number.
$207 billion. We've improved the budget bottom line by $207 billion. We've produced 2 budget surpluses, the government of which you were a part delivered 0.
All right,
Okay.
good.
Yep.
You started off so
Let's-
nicely.
I know, it was so friendly.
Let's get back to it.
What comes to mind when you see this, gentlemen? Let's have a look. Mr. Albanese.
Australia.
Mr. Dutton.
Well, a great system and one that we've invested in, that we believe in strongly. But at the moment, you're paying about $43 to go and see a doctor, and so it should be accompanied by the credit card that you've got to take to the doctors as well.
Do you
under
have
this
that in your
government.
pocket? You're probably thinking he's going to pull it out at some stage. You got your credit card there?
No, I haven't got
You
it
want
here,
to
but
abolish bulk billing altogether by
wanted to
having a
make-
charge.
I wanted to
by
make
having a
primary care
charge.
sustainable.
By having a charge every time people visit the doctor, it would have been no bulk billing.
No, but your charge
That
now
was
is
your-
$43.
that was what you did.
Your charge is $43.
That's what you did. We're repairing your mess.
You
I think,
pretend,
I think you both had policies in the past, though, you walked away from. We talked about negative giving, you've walked away from that, and Mr. Dutton's walked away from the 2014 budget, and we know all about that.
But he pretends
So-
it didn't happen.
Okay,
Okay.
we want to listen to a quick soundbite.
That my word is my bond.
Remember that, Mr. Albanese? I do.
I do.
Yeah, but you broke your word.
I did.
So
I did. I changed my mind because I could not resile from the need to do something to help people because of cost of living pressures.
Sure.
So what I did was I fronted up.
Yeah.
I went along to the National Press Club. I
Yeah.
didn't pretend that we hadn't changed our position.
No.
I went along, I argued the case, and guess what? The coalition voted for it as well. our
we
change.
gave you snaps of that, and but you remember the interview, I do.
Yeah.
I put those arguments to you at that time, and I said, why won't you change this? Because all those things you just articulated were real then, and they're real now. And you said, because my word is my bond.
Except, Mark, that what occurred with global inflation, where inflation hit, here it peaked at 7.8, overseas it peaked...
Things got worse, is your
It peaked
argument, is
in
it?
double digits. It
Yeah.
peaked in double digits.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, in all conscience, on the 1st of July, get $9,000 for all of us and a whole lot of people who are watching at home
But I
not
put
get a
this to you
single
at
dollar.
that time. I put that to you at that time. Mr. Dutton, is your word your bond?
Yes, it is. And if you're talking about the stage 3 tax cuts, don't forget, it's stage 3 because stage 1 and stage 2 tax cuts were introduced by a coalition government, and we supported stage 3 tax cuts. So the whole idea was to address bracket creep that you spoke of before. Under this government, people are paying $3,500 extra in tax over the course of the last 3
Okay.
years.
You
That's
voted,
the
well,
you
reality.
voted,
okay,
you
well,
voted
you've
for the change. So not only did we change our position,
Yeah.
but it went through the parliament unanimously.
You change it.
Okay,
you
we're
change it,
talking
okay.
about your word being your bond. On that point, we want you to listen to something else, Mr. Dutton.
I've apologised for the decision that we took in relation to work from home.
How did you get that policy so wrong?
We said in relation to public servants in Canberra that we wanted to go back to something like what it was before COVID, which was about 60% of people at work. Still flexibility for a lot of people, and believe very strongly in flexibility in work arrangements. It's down to 20% in Canberra. We have, on a per capita basis, the highest number of public servants in the world, and the government has increased the number of public servants threefold. The point I was making is that if Australians are out there working their guts out at the moment, an extra job or a second job, they're paying taxes, they expect their money to be spent efficiently. What the Prime Minister did, as he's done with a number of other issues, is twisted and contorted into something that it wasn't. And the point I make was that yes, the Prime Minister scared particularly women and others into believing that we were doing something that we weren't, and I apologise for that.
Okay, well,
But-
we know
but-
the conditions in the public sector become a template for the private sector, though, don't we?
But you said when you announced the policy that people could just job share. That's what you said. And since the backflip, a number of your people, senior people, have said that they still support the policy. It was just the wrong time. The truth is that this attack on public servants would then create a precedent for the private sector, which is why people were so concerned that it doesn't understand what modern families do.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
like sacking 41,000 public servants, you had 54,000 consultants at various times during your period in office being paid a lot more than public servants, and you had robo-debt, and you had veterans
All right,
waiting.
we're getting back into the
waiting
weeds
to
now,
get
and we
their
could
support.
talk about this all night, and I wish we could, frankly, because I think this is really helpful. However, time is closing on us. So your closing statements, gentlemen. I've been out there on the streets with you for the past 4 weeks. I've got to tell you, I'm sorry, I'm going to be out there next week with you as well. So I know how hard you're working. The one thing people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying to you, is where's the inspiration? Where's the hope? Give me some hope. Give me something to look forward to. Your closing statements, 1 minute. Mr. Dutton, you're going first. Give the people some hope.
Well, Mark, firstly, thank you to you and Nat, and to Anthony as well. I believe we live in the greatest country in the world. I know that many Australians are really doing it tough at the moment, and I don't believe Australians can afford 3 more years of increased costs of everything. I want to make sure we can deliver support immediately through the 25 cent a litre cut in fuel tax, the $1,200 tax rebate, and I want to make sure that we can transform our energy market, get more gas into the system, bring the wholesale price of gas down by 23%. If we do that, we can bring down the costs across the economy. We can bring inflation down through good economic management, and that's exactly what is required in our country right now. If we make the right decisions now, we can protect our generation and future generations and make our country and our communities safer, and that's exactly what I'm dedicated to doing. So if people vote for the Liberal and National candidate at this election, we can get our country back on track, and we can make sure that we can invest into families, help grow our economy, reduce
don't think
interest
so,
rates, and help Australians
You
get through
haven't
what has
got a
been a terrible
chance,
period.
Peter.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Albanese. People are crying out for hope and inspiration. All 1 minute.
Well, I'm optimistic about Australia's future, and what gives me hope is the resilience, the courage, the optimism of the Australian people. We are the greatest country on the planet, and we're driven by our people as well as, of course, the natural assets that we enjoy. And I want to back our people through skills and training. That's why we're investing in every school by giving a better and fairer schools funding. That's why we're investing in early childhood education. That's why we're investing in free TAFE, to give people that opportunity to be the best that they can. That's why we're working so hard with the Australian people to bring down inflation. If we get it right, the future is so bright for us because we live in the fastest growing region of the world in human history, and our people are our greatest asset, including our multiculturalism, of course, gives us those direct links to the economies of Asia.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for entering into the spirit of the debate tonight. We've covered a lot of ground. 6 days to go. Good luck to both of you. Let the best man win. Nat?
Well, Australia, now it is time to decide who do you think won the final showdown, and what did our jury of undecided voters from all walks of life watching here inside 7's Election HQ think of the two contenders? Did Anthony Albanese convince you he's worth another 3 years in the top job, or did Peter Dutton shake off his campaign cobwebs and reveal something new to convince you in the final days it's his turn to become Prime Minister of Australia? They both put everything on the line tonight. Was it enough? Michael Usher, I'm excited to see where this goes. It's over to you for the verdict.
Let's find out. Natalie, thank you very much and welcome to a very special edition of Spotlight the Verdict. As we go to air, we have a live audience. You saw them just a second ago, of 60 undecided viewers who've been watching the final showdown live from our 7 News Election Central studio. They are the jury, and they are, believe me, ready to judge. Tonight, they'll vote and decide who wins this fourth and very final debate. We have a team of independent number crunchers from Roy Morgan, experts in this work, who've been monitoring the jury's reaction to every single second of the debate to help all of us understand who really won. They're going to be guided by Monique Wright, who will cross to, g'day Monique, just in a moment, to reveal how tonight's scoring is going to work. It's been quite technical. We also have our team of expert insiders joining me here on the desk. Let me introduce them. Andrew Carswell, Liberal insider and columnist for The Nightly. He was a primary advisor to Australia's 30th Prime Minister, Scott Morrison. Kayla Manane is a Labor insider. She served as the New South Wales Party's first and only female General Secretary. She knows a lot about campaigns and how to manage them. She's relieved to not be doing it tonight. She's here to give us her advice. And Ben Harvey, he's a Supremo, the chief reporter for the West Australian, always clear in his views. and of course the country's most respected political editor. You just saw him in action then. We're giving him about 30 seconds to sit down and catch a breath. Mark Riley will join us in a minute. Thank you all so much for your company tonight. We're going to get some expert analysis soon, but let's go straight to our jury and the everyday undecided voters that our leaders tonight really needed to impress. And that's where we go back and say g'day to Sunrise's Monique right now. Monique, take it away.
Michael, good evening to you. Good evening to everybody. Great to see you. And it's been fantastic to be here with these 60 undecided voters. They are real swing voters. Thanks so much to the person who suggested we should be referring to you as the swingers tonight. We're not. They're definitely the jury room. Now, how the jury room has worked tonight is they're each using, can I just borrow your little, they're using one of these. So we're calling this the pulse. So while the two leaders were speaking, they were telling us what they thought on each topic, and they will give us the big one, the who won the debate tonight. It's interesting being in this room tonight. This is a group of people who came in here pretty confused, I think I could say. Some people still feel confused. Some are a little cranky and feel as if they haven't actually been swayed either way, and some have. So things are going to get very interesting tonight. We've got our team from Roy Morgan Research here, and they are going to be letting us know about all of those results. I'm fascinated to hear whether the things that people say, whether they have voted in a different way. Lots of characters here tonight, lots of people with heaps of opinions, Michael, and this is really a representation of Australia and people who are sitting at home. Is this you sitting at home? Are you not sure who to vote for? Did you go into the debate tonight unsure? And have you been swayed? Well, come back to us in just a couple of minutes. I'm hearing that we're not far away from getting those first results, Michael.
Starting to come in, Ormond. Thank you very much. We're going to wait to hear from you. Let's bring in Mark Riley now. We've given a few seconds to catch his breath. Maybe have a quick sniff of drink on the way through as well. On the winner tonight, right? Mark Riley, it was you. There you go. I think we could all agree on that. Look, in the seconds you've had to sort of think and digest about what you've just been through there, I think sometimes trying to get answers out of our leaders is trying to grab a column of smoke.
Yeah.
But you did a pretty good job of putting the questions to.
But you've got to let them speak as well, because I mean it's unfair. We had a bit of fun at the end, and a bit of fun became a bit of aggro too. So you can see, I think our undecided voters would see the passions, what got them passionate, why they're passionate about that, and some of the interactions there. So there were talking points. I mean, I didn't stop them from doing that. You're never going to do it right, Kazi. You bang them into people and they've got to do it right. Never. But I think what I tried to do was have them discuss their policy positions, weigh them up against the other person's, say why they're right, the other person's is wrong, to help people make their decision. I hope that's what we achieved.
Carla, did Mark Riley achieve that tonight from what you were listening to?
He certainly did. It's probably the toughest gig in politics, I think, actually chairing that final debate. And I think tonight's debate shone a light on how the leaders are going into the final week as well. And that's a really tough thing to get them to openly admit, what they think of the other person's policies on the go. So it's a tough debate, but tonight was actually exciting. You compare it to the first couple, and we had a few exciting moments there towards the end of the night.
Andrew, do you think there were some clear hits and misses tonight?
I think it was good to see some biffo, some signs of life in what's otherwise been a pretty dull campaign, so to speak. So it was good to kind of get that back and forth, particularly on cost of living. I think that was really important to see the passions come up, and it wasn't just two white men having a go at each other. It was a passionate debate about what is going wrong in this space.
Ben, what do you think? Have they impressed our undecided voters and all the people out there who really haven't known what to think in the past few weeks?
They had 3 rehearsals to get it right tonight, and I think they were pretty impressive out there. They actually looked like political leaders. There were a couple of moments where they were both quite weak. Peter Dutton's inability to explain why he's never visited a nuclear power station site had me absolutely cringing. But Anthony Albanese's inability to explain why the voice, the great moral imperative of our time, no longer matters, was also quite disheartening.
All right, now the countdown clock we've seen, you can see on the screen now, just to for everyone at home now, that's our team working through the final round of data, the Roy Morgan team that you saw upstairs. We want to get to the reveal, the first of our results. It's what everyone's been wanting to hear at home. Cost of living was the first subject that Mark Riley went to and asked, and it was a big win for the Prime Minister. Have a look at this now. 65% of our voters siding with Anthony Albanese. Dutton received 16%. There's the interesting part. 19% of voters remain undecided. Housing, let's get straight to it. Much closer. Anthony Albanese received 35% of the votes. Peter Dutton, 30%. 35% of the voters remain undecided. Two very interesting results coming out there. Mon, let's go back up to you now. You've been speaking to the people in your room. Why did they vote those ways? Let's go for it, Mon.
Yeah, very interesting, Michael. Cost of living
Very
and housing
interesting.
were the things that everybody was talking to me about before the debate went to air. So I'm fascinated to know from Rhea and Catherine, mother and daughter, you both said that housing in particular would be very important. If one of the leaders was to come to your house, what do you think that you would want them to know? What did you think about what they said tonight?
Oh, well, I live in a tent.
Basically, the bills, they keep on going higher and higher, and there's no relief at all.
Okay, you're wanting to buy a house, you're working 2 jobs at the moment, you're still living at home with mum and dad, but you've got a HECS debt as well. Is anything that was said tonight make you feel hope for the future that you'll be able to afford your own house?
It's really tough, especially because of how high the prices are, and a lot of people around my age, especially friends I know who are trying to save up money, have that HECS especially weighing over them, and it's a little bit hard to decide like what will happen in long term.
Was anything that was said tonight make you feel as if you might be able to afford a home?
She wasn't listening.
Maybe with the first home lender scheme, if like any of that deposit could help in getting a jump start.
Then maybe that way. Okay, now you two guys came here tonight and you were wanting to be inspired on a range of topics. Were you inspired tonight?
Yeah, I think I was. I think both of them offered solutions that were possible. Hopefully, I think Albanese finished with inspiration, which I think was a nice change instead of the nitpicking that we obviously always see. So yeah.
I was thinking of you, Todd, when he was saying that. Now we've got 2 single parents here, and we've got Melanie and Chris. Okay, your parents, I'm wondering if you're anything like me and you walk around, you're constantly turning off lights.
All the time.
Yeah, okay. So, even when someone's in the room, that's happened at our house before. Was there anything that was said tonight to make you think that you will not have to do that in the future, that energy bills might be relieved, that cost of living might be improved?
I think both of them had some really good points about cost of living, especially around electricity, but I'm yet to see whether they'll actually come to fruition. So I'm interested to see whether I still need to turn the lights off or whether I'm actually going to see a difference in my hip pocket.
Okay, what about for you, Chris?
I feel the same, actually. Not really what to say, sorry.
That's all right. It's hard to be put on the spot. You know, we get a bit of an idea of what it's like to be the leaders, but they've been given a lot of practice in this. Okay, for you two guys, you're voting now for the second time, and you said that you were really unsure when you came in here today. On the basis of cost of living and housing, how did you feel while they were speaking?
I think, I personally already own a home, but I think a lot of my friends don't own homes, and it's good to hear. Personally, I think Labor offer a bit more. Like the Liberals were just kind of attacking, but they didn't really offer anything. Hearing that 5% deposit scheme, that sounds pretty good. So I'd feel more confident voting for Labor today.
Okay, we keep on hearing that's someone's phone. It's your mum calling. They can see you on TV. We keep on hearing that young people have never been more important than in this election. You guys have got the power. You know, you came today. You were pretty engaged. Do you feel any different after listening to them tonight?
I do. It was nice hearing a lot of the things brought up, and I just feel as though Albanese brought up a lot of evidence to support his claims, whereas the opposition was just making small jabs. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right, well, Michael, we've got many more results that are coming in this evening. We should have the next round in the next couple of minutes.
Well, indeed, yeah, and Laura Morgan, people are working on that one. Thank you very much. Let me ask the panel now. Kayla, on the cost of living, that gap is huge there, 65% of our undecided voters supporting Albanese, only 16% on Dutton. That's a fail for Dutton.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen it time and time again through our polling and research, that the Labor Party is leading on cost of living, but it is a stark contrast tonight. 65% is an absolute win. And you could see that in what the Prime Minister was saying tonight, sharing the vision and the story about cost of living as an overall narrative. And so, it isn't surprising to me that he won. It is surprising just how much he won by this evening.
Ben, why is Peter Dutton getting that topic so wrong?
I think that he wants to say for great men in Australia, not most, but great men. This is not a cost of living crisis. It is a cost of living within their means inconvenience. And we are so conditioned now, at the first sign of discomfort, to put our hand out and have government put something in it, that that's what these leaders are doing, and they will bankrupt the country to do it. So
Andrew Caswell, what's your take on that?
Well, it's worrying signs looking at those numbers, because this last week the election will be determined by who can itemise what's going on in terms of cost of living in the economy. Peter Dutton has been very good to this stage to itemise every element of pain that is going on in people's household budgets. He's been very good at that. But on the flip side, it's taken a while to get to the stage where he's communicating what the coalition will do better. And while it's kind of a running out of time scenario here, where he's only got a certain amount of days to be able to communicate what the coalition can do better to address that.
All right, going to take a short break. Look, a very short reset here at election headquarters, because there's a lot of the new data to go through that's still coming in.
Enough's
Stay
enough,
right there,
eh?
Australia, because
No,
soon we'll
I'm
reveal
not
some
watching
pretty
anymore.
outstanding new results.